Funky fella.
So I came out to the field and they're actually doing some glider tows out here. I met the guys, they're doing like a check ride for his, so I get checked off. We're gonna be doing some laps out here. We coordinated where we're gonna be and such. In all my years of coming out here to this airport, this is the first time I ever actually got to see them doing aero tows with the gliders. I coordinated with them, of course. Something else I noticed after watching the footage was you can still see the thermals way up in the air when you zoom in on the airplanes. You know, you can always see them by the trees, but look at the wings. You can see the thermals going by the wings and distorting the image that you can see when zoomed in with the camera. Just thought that was really cool. Like when you zoom in, you can really tell it. They're doing some runs out there. I'm gonna go park kind of way down here out of their way. I don't want to be a hindrance to any sort of sailplane training. That's what they're doing check ride stuff. I told them I was gonna go way down here at the end, park on the side of the road, put a windsock up. I'd be up and out of here, no factor. Just wanted to do a little communication with the other pilots on the field. That's always a good thing, to go have some chit chat. Even if it puts me a little late getting up here into this badass looking sky. Pretty exciting stuff. So let me get set up proper and I'll be back with you on the helmet cam. All right, so we've got gliders being towed in the area. There he is coming right over my hoop there. The winds are strong today. Oh, I need to text my student training location, etc. It's all important stuff. And then of course here comes the airplane. So this is a long video, so I want to get into just a couple of the details. This flight was at the peak of the day, between 1 and 3 p.m. Winds were gusting up to 20 miles an hour. Super strong conditions, sketch for anybody that is not seasoned for flying in conditions like this. Don't go out and try it unless you know what you're doing. It is dangerous. This flight was not about going far, it was about thermal practice. You're going to see me pushing back into the wind, and that is normally not how you fly a thermal day. When you get to the top, you want to push downwind and catch that next one on your downwind leg. I was pushing back into the wind, the reason being the winds were so strong that the math told me if I pushed downwind more than 2 or 3 thermals, that I was not going to have enough fuel or time to get back to the field. And I had to meet a student for his maybe first, second day of training. So it was important that I was back on time. He was driving in from out of town. I just wanted to throw that in here now so that you guys know where I'm coming from. This is typically not how you'd want to fly a day like this, but it's also really great practice to have that motor back there off and dragging you down, pushing into the wind. These are all things that can really break you if you're doing them out there for real. Being able to do it successfully is really wonderful practice. Just wanted to throw that out there, fill you in with what's going on in my mind that I'm not going to talk about during the flight. We got some good video. I hope y'all stick around for this one. Even though it's long, should be good. Uh-oh. And then there goes my wing in a gust. I wouldn't have expected anything less today. Windy ass day. Damn, it's heavy. Heavy shenanigans today, my friends. We are fully loaded. So I don't vlog much when I'm doing a thermal flight. I'm highly focused on getting the job done, just getting in the zone, just flying for myself. So here I am in the studio doing all this stuff after the fact. The first thing I want to do is get high, get away from the ground, get away from the other aircraft. So let's talk about how I like to start a flight. When I'm doing motor thermal practice, I leave the engine running. I'm not thrusting all the time. I am initially, and I'm just kind of getting a feel for the sky. I'm doing like a grid search pattern, feeling where the thermals are, trying to get tuned in with what's going on weather-wise. Now, just interestingly, you see this climb right here. This climb, you'd think I'm full power. No, I'm at idle. Check this out in real life. Now, as mentioned, of course, the engine is running, but I don't leave it running. Once I establish myself in a climb that I'm comfortable with, I turn it off and I just commit to a free flight. But initially, I'm feeling back and forth, up and down. I'm trying to find the thermals, the sources, the triggers, and I'm going to show you a trick about that too that we can look at after the fact. But in real time, I'm just out there riding back and forth, feeling where the lift is, where the sink is, where I want to be. And here I find something I like, and I'm at idle, and right here is where I actually kill the engine and commit to the flight. Thermaling video footage is boring AF, and I'm sorry about that, but I want you to listen to what's going on. I'm running two Varios here. I've got my XC Tracer, that's the lighter beeps. The louder beeps are the Udi, and I've got my hearing protection on for my motor, so I've got it loud, and you can hear the beeping. Just listen to it with me for a few minutes. This is what I'm listening to out there as I'm flying around, and I'm forming a mental image of the thermal in my mind, and we'll look at that in the animation here in just a second. One of the coolest things that you can do with this Avery GPS animation is go back and look and find where the thermal triggers are. So check this out. Zoom in with me here for a second. We've got a good idea where that thermal's coming from down there if you just follow the spirals back to the ground. Now let's look at it in the actual image from the day. You see where the dirt is meeting that lush green field? That is the trigger point where this nice thermal was coming off of. So that gives me some heads up when I want to look into the future for where I'm looking for the next trigger. A strong wind, a dirt field next to a lush green one. I'm going to go downwind of that thing and look for my next climb. Okay, now back to a little bit of boring. This next little bit of animation here, this 3-4 seconds that you're going to see, it's actually like a couple of minutes worth. It's the top of the climb before I hit sink. Here, just ride along with me. This is it. And that there was the last beep of the climb. Look at this sink, man. I hit it hard, and look how much I'm going down, how much more of an angle that I'm getting drilled versus the climb that I just had. This is what it looks like in real time. So after my trip to Sink City there, I actually start feeling around and making some observations about where there may be lift, and I start talking it out. And so I've got some vlog in here somewhere. I'm going to let you watch the animation, and then I'm just going to flip it over to the actual helmet cam footage and the vlogging that I did as I was scratching around here looking for the next climb. And I did connect, so check this out.
You're pushing into the wind, you just gotta keep pushing sometimes. Maybe you land, maybe you don't. But it's too late to turn around now. We're just gonna see if I can glide into something. Strong sink is generally an indicator that there's strong lift around. I got this cloud coming over me. There's more strong sink. I see birds down here gliding in the same direction that I'm going. That's a pretty good sign. And they just turned back. So maybe I should lean this way, huh? Slightly crosswind, maybe? Let's see. I've been gliding for almost 2,000 feet. There's something. But I don't think that's all of it. I think there's more. There's a crop duster. There's turbulence. It's usually a pretty good sign. There's birds. Come on, kick off. Gotta be something coming at me. Well, I am in kinda lift. Come on, give me some more. Feeling for it. Feeling for it. Where's it at? Oh! Shit! There it was. It was something anyway. That was a little bullet thermal. It grabbed the piss out of me. I'm gonna turn back and try to find where there's some of that. There's usually some other stuff. Fell out the back. Let me get back in it.
So this is kind of weird. I overlaid the GPS data with the real-time footage, and I changed the speeds. Y'all just check a few of these settings out here and listen to this with me. Yeah, this is just too crazy to watch. I don't like this. I also did real-time. Now this is what it looks like real-time. Yeah. I don't know. I thought this may be interesting, but overall, I'm not real happy. So what we're going to do is we're just going to look at the animation, talk about the rest of the flight, and then watch it in real time. So I made my connection, I made my turns, I made my climb. Look at just how windy it is. You can really tell the strength of the wind by looking when I turn headwind. I don't make any penetration. Instead of looking like little circles or E's, what it actually starts looking like is, well, actually it does look like little E's, but they're stretched out. Look, I got some lift there. I zero in on my climb, and I find the core, and when I really find the best core, there's something you'll notice. I'm kind of going more up there. Look, now I'm established. Now I'm in some good lift, and if you follow that core back, it also goes to a brown field next to a lush green field to the north. But as I go higher, it starts to lean over. The winds get a lot stronger as I get higher. It stretches out more. Look, there's also a change in wind direction. You can see the dog leg right there in the path. Look, when you go back and follow that thermal down, you see the brown field next to the lush green one, also another trigger point. I love going back and reviewing this footage. I'm almost to the top of the climb here. I didn't quite make it to 3,700 feet. That was just the most I could get out of the day. And this is right about where it's at. You can see the data, that little ticker at the very top right there. Yeah, that was it. That was the top of the flight for me this day. I was just loitering. I couldn't really push it any further than that. The thermals just didn't have enough to bring it up anymore. So I pushed back into the wind, and check out this, man. I get drilled. And we're going to watch this here in just a second. And I also get to a point where I try to do a low save. And looking back at the data, I'm exactly 100 feet off the deck. And I was coming in, and I could see a little buzzard. It was also a brown field next to a lush green one. We'll see in the video in a minute. But look at how I'm getting slammed. Well, does it give my out? It doesn't give my negative climb right there. Yeah, negative 600. I got my alarm set to go off at negative 800, and they're both screaming at me. This is the low save attempt. I made 4 circles at 100 feet. Look, I'm just leveled out. I couldn't really gain it, couldn't really lose it. I gave up, landed right here. That was the end of the flight. Yeah, so let's just watch it in real time here.
Crop duster at my 12 o'clock. Down by that Oxbow Lake. Shit, I'm 3,100 feet. I don't even think he's ever been this high. So I'm just loitering. I've topped out the climb. I'm in no hurry to go anywhere. I mean, I gotta go back ultimately. And I've drifted 5-6 miles from base. So depending on the actual wind speeds on the ground when I decide to head back, might determine just how far I could go. I mean, I could send it into the wind, but if I get 20 miles down here and the winds are 10 miles an hour, you know, I can only get 10 miles an hour ground speed on the way back. I don't have 2 hours worth of fuel. So I've got to do these kind of calculations in my mind as well. That's why I pushed into the wind during that first glide, and I may do the same thing again. I don't know, maybe worth a shot. Let's push and see what happens, huh? Shit, I'm still climbing good though. Maybe I'll turn in that a little bit. Old habits hard to break. I'm also learning this new Vario, this XC Tracer. That's something new. I've not got to play with this thing really yet. So it beeps before my other one. It kind of gives me like that ghost signal, like I'm coming up on something. I can coordinate it better with the turbulence that I'm feeling. They're both screaming at me. Down! Down! I need to go to the right probably. Yep, look at there, it's already sinking less. See, I was falling out of a lift line is what was going on there. That was a mistake. Should have stayed more over here toward the interstate. Getting less sink, more lift, still into the wind some, but I'm cross a bit. Still think I'm catching lift off of all this stuff in the valley here. Damn. You too then. I guess I'll try to thermal back. It'll be a difficult task to thermal back at this time of the day in these conditions. The headwind's just too strong. The climbs are too slow. I don't know, it's a good challenge though. I got this spinning brick on my back here. We're gonna keep creeping, see what happens. You just never know. I kind of miss my warm and cozy pod harness. Although I'm not complaining about the temperatures. It is nice to be Louisiana. Of course, it is October. Wow, I'm getting drilled, son. That's how you get dirted, yo. Maybe there'll be lift right next to it, though. Let's see. Any signs? Anything down there give me an indication? Nothing. Nothing that I can see. Oh, I feel some warm air. What is this? What is this? Alright, this is low save territory here. I guess a buzzard can do it. Speaking of buzzard, guess while I'm here, I'll piss and get a drink, huh? Oh shit, oh shit, come on down. Come on down. There's the thermal I was looking for.
I hope you took away something from that. Part 2 is going to be the flight back whenever I had to motor back all that ground that I covered in that strong wind. I think it was like a 5 mile an hour average, and I hit a dust devil on the way back. So it's a pretty exciting video. Hit the subscribe dinger. It's right around here somewhere. Yeah, hit it right about there, and you'll know whenever that video drops. Until then, much love, everybody. Kyle out.